Welcome to Richer Within with me, Kathryn. Activate your inner wealth of wisdom. What if the answers you seek are already inside you? On this podcast, I, along with Dr. Pat, explore what it means to truly rely on your inner guidance, moving beyond the noise of external influences to reconnect with your unique magnificence. Each episode offers compelling real-life stories and practical tools to help you shift from overwhelm to clarity. Discover how to activate your inner wealth of wisdom, your wow, and harness the universal creative process to shape a life even beyond your imagination. Ready to embrace liberating responsibility for your life, own your worth, and trust your inner guidance? Then you're in the right place at the right time. Let's dive in. Your transformation starts now.
Hey, everybody, welcome. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. We have a great show. I want to introduce you to somebody amazing, somebody who understands not just the essence of intuition, but today's show is, what do we do with it? You know, here we are. Many of you know, you walk down the street, you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to look over here. No, I'm going to look over here. See, every day, and sometimes some people say there are moments pretty much of every day where we're struck by something that is wanting us to pay attention, right? Now, you may be asking, really? Is there something that smart out there? But joining me today is Kathryn Richer, and this is the realm by which Kathryn lives in. She is the founder, creator of Richer Within. And when we're talking about this, the key word is within. This is the essence of today's show, Kathryn. Tell us a little bit. So you see, what I'm really struck by today is how we are surrounded by this thing we call intuition, right? How has this been able to serve you in your life? And are we really not that awake to hear the voice of that?
There's a lot of questions in that question, and we're going to get
indeed
every single one of them because it's a juicy, juicy topic. And I'd like to start by saying something I might have missed if I hadn't followed my intuition. Because that's the other thing is we can hear it, we can listen to it, and unless we follow it, then what good is it really? So, perfect example. I was hiking on Mount Hood, and we had walked by this beautiful waterfall on the way in. We kind of stroll on our way in, and then we kind of boogie on the way out. So on the way out, we're going by the waterfall again. And I almost just kept on going. I said, hey, waterfall, kept going. And I heard this come a little closer. Oh, okay. So I walked a little closer to the base of the waterfall. And that's when I saw this rainbow at the base of the waterfall created from the mist of the water falling that I would not have seen if I hadn't gone closer. And so that's that powerful example of how our wow is in the now and not the when, and how intuition plays such a beautiful role in that, because the intuition happens now. That happened now. It didn't happen when I was, a mile away from the waterfall. It happened right then. So that's the living in the wow now and not when, because that opens me to the joy of now, the beauty of now, everything that exists in the now rather than when.
You mentioned wow 3 or 4 times. Tell everybody what the acronym means to you.
WOW is wealth of wisdom. And that is our inner wealth of wisdom. And intuition is a component of our inner wealth of wisdom. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. I love the example in the story of the rainbow. I have often wondered in my life, because I think I've shared this with you. I think for the first X amount of years, first 4 decades of my life, not only didn't I understand wow, but I wasn't even awake enough to know a rainbow existed. Right? So one of the things that you're talking about here today is not just how we live and expand ourselves into the energy of all this. But even more importantly for us is when we're thinking about things and we're thinking about our lives, I can't tell you how many times I've been saved, and I want to say saved, how many times I've been saved by that inside rainbow, right? That waterfall rainbow, and you posted that. And so people say, when I do it, I'll do it. When I find happiness, I'll find happiness. When I get there, I'll get there. But what are we really saying? Is there another pathway? Why are we delaying our happy juice?
Exactly. Why delay happiness when it is available to us now? Like you say, people often, oh, when I get this job, I'll be happy. When I find my perfect partner, life is going to be great. When this, so it's a conditional when. It's like creating a condition on life. I'll be happy if this happens and when you do this for me, rather than what about right now? What am I grateful for now? What's my wow right now? And it's amazing because delaying happiness, you sure can. And people say you want love, be love, do something loving. You want joy, be joy. You want peace, be peace. Remember that song?
Oh,
Let
gosh,
peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.
of that song.
Yeah, yes, with every breath I take. And so that is in the moment, allowing those to emerge. Now, of course, I want to say this doesn't mean we don't set intentions, we don't set goals, we don't make plans. Actually, I don't even use the word plan anymore. But,
Oopsie,
you know,
oopsie.
yeah, we can do all these things. However, we don't say we'll be fulfilled when we reach this. When I had a really big year coming up and I do yearly planning, I made this beautiful vision board, if you will call it. And what I called it, the acronym was SILK, for Spontaneous Intentional Living Compass.
Mm.
So it's the blend of intentional living while allowing the spontaneity of the moment, like the now of the waterfall rainbow.
Yeah. I so love that you're talking about that. That now of the waterfall moment, that is a waterfall moment, but it's also a transformational moment. It's that thing that touches you so deeply that it's hard even in this show to find the right words for it. I mean, we could never quite get what you felt on the inside from that, but I can see it in your eyes today, right? Even when you were just talking about it and you posted that image on social media. But part of this too is understanding that spontaneous aspect of who we are.
Mhm.
Now, I say that, and people look at me like, here's what I get all the time. Well, that's you little quadruple Sagittarian, right? No, yes, and yes, and no. But it's more than that. It's more than a horoscope. It's an innate something that can tap so deeply into our soul that gets expressed through our humanity if we could only believe in it and trust. Can you talk to that?
Yes. And we absolutely all have it. I like to think of intuition as the opposite of AI. It is the opposite of artificial intelligence. It is pure intelligence and it's personal. So it doesn't make mistakes. You can even think of it as pi, if you know the mathematical constant that is always everywhere and never changes in any situation. And it's infinite. It's like, so that it's pure, infinite intelligence
Yeah.
that expresses through our intuition. And, the Latin roots, you meant sometimes you have been saved by your intuition. Its archaic meaning is actually guardian. And it's also about it's not taught. In is actually not, and to it is taught. It's not taught. It's that inner that we always have. We're born with it. We're often conditioned out of it, right? By people
Yeah.
naysaying, oh, you Sagittarius, you. It's like, no, everyone,
Yeah.
everyone absolutely has it. We
Yeah.
might have forgotten it. We might be out of touch with it. but it's absolutely there. It's absolutely there. And it's simple things. Like it's not rocket science. It's like, oh, I had a funny feeling. You hear somebody say this, so you say it yourself. Oh, I had a sense that, or something told me, or I was thinking of someone and later learned, like recently, a good friend of mine's husband passed and he'd been ill for about 5 years. And I had a really strong sense of them for some reason a few days before his passing. We feel pulled towards something for something that we don't understand, or there's a silent warning, like a bear on the trail, like I experienced up in the Yukon hiking. And I just was like, there's something going, and it turned out it was a bear. So it is a guide and it is a guardian, and it's actually real and measurable, and modern research is showing that.
Yeah. Your ears must have been ringing this morning because we were talking about you, but not talking about you, but yes, talking about you kind of because of the show today. And it was also about, the intuitive mind. Let's talk about this for a minute, but let's just talk about, intuition in a way perhaps that people don't put it together. And so a lot of times folks think the genius people of the world, right? The critical thinkers, it is so they have this idea of the critical thinking, and then they have intuition. And for a really long time, there was statements that they don't coexist. But Einstein changed that. Many people changed. Almost everybody that has discovered something will tell you that last thing with the light bulb, they'll call it an accident. My wrong phone number. I say I dialed the wrong phone number. But you see, why didn't I hang up there, Kathryn? Why didn't I hang up?
You knew. And guess what Albert Einstein said? That's amazing you brought that up. He said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We've created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. And that's why.
Yeah. Let's carry this further because this gets into a conversation sometimes, especially, I work with young people and, they're entering a college program and they have to really face this demon of, am I analytical or not? And, we're talking about the fact that we can be all, can't we?
Yes. It's a blend. It's a balance. And there are times where we may actually be having a trauma response to something. And so to understand the difference between that and intuition, we can go into that another time. But there is that balance. They can work together, and particularly through what's called heart-brain coherence.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do that. It's not either or, and it is unique to all of us, as we each are magnificently unique, which is so critical to understand. We receive the information in a unique way. And that's why it's important to tap into figuring out, oh, how does it come to me most often? What's the language that it speaks to me? And there's very simple practices that you can do every single day because it's with us every single day. It never, ever, ever leaves us.
So here's something that happened during the show. So I prepare with the show and I prepare for you. But every show you do starts with an invocation, right? It didn't happen today. And it's not anything that anybody did. It was whatever went on for a moment with me in that moment. And I thought about this, and I didn't think a lot about it because I like to be fully present when I do a show, just saying, Kathryn. But there are moments in life where things happen that are unexplainable. But maybe the time for that, in my sort of weird way, is the middle of the show today. Now, I don't know. So you see what I'm doing now?
Exactly.
It's like, I apologize to you for not doing that, and I can't explain why I didn't. Does that even make sense? Or did you set this up like this? Just asking, just wondering if that's what happened today, because it's a perfect example. And yet doing an invocation is so powerful and so strong. It sets the intention.
Mhm.
And I want to talk about this for a minute, but what do you think of that little thought that I threw out there right there? Did you say to yourself, what is she doing? Did you have a moment where you're like, where are we going here?
Nope, I've
Sometimes
just
we
followed it.
no,
We follow,
right.
right? And we don't beat ourselves up. We don't question ourselves mercilessly. There's a lot of acceptance and self-compassion and trust with a capital T.
But maybe let's explore this for a minute because we're going to talk about trauma response versus intuition because it's very important to do. What does that even mean? And then how do we tap into our feelings around it? How do we tap into our feelings around life? Linda and I were reflecting on, we had a conversation over the weekend and I got an intuitive hit. Is that proper? Can I use that term, intuitive hit?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to talk about intuition, analytical thinking, and I made a statement. They're not opposites, are they?
No.
No. So here we are this weekend, and I'm not going to go into the detail, but here's the punchline. The punchline is family member not doing so well. Let's just call it that. But I had this hit, and it wouldn't leave me. It wouldn't leave me. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but my hit was I got to connect him with Mary Jane Mack. That's it. No, like, why? Right? But let's talk about this because obviously this was an emotional thing for us both. What is trauma response? What does it mean? What does it feel like? And I hope that we do that invocation at the end of the show, if you don't mind. Because those statements that you use, I live and breathe by, and I will admit, I've gotten lazy.
Mm-hmm. That's awareness, and awareness is the first thing, right? Awareness is always the first thing, and it's awareness. And so when you ask about trauma response, the difference to me is it's immediate, and it often passes if we're able to regulate it, right? And it's also immediate, and it can keep poking at you. Like I was going to go to a women's retreat and then I decided not to. And then something kept poking at me to say, go, go, go. And I did not understand it. I went to it. It was the most transformative retreat I've ever been to. It was very recent. So it's when it keeps poking at you. Whereas that trauma response is immediate, right? Some questions I ask myself to ferret out the difference is how old do I feel in this situation now? Do I feel like I'm Kathy when I was 7 and maybe my parent was yelling at me? And another is, do my feelings warrant this situation or my response? Those are some of the ways that I check into that. And our bodies will tell us. We're going to talk in episode 3 about somatic intuition, which is the body knowing and body signals that we get. And again, just we're uniquely magnificent. We begin to understand the patterns that we have, and we unravel them. I love doing this with people because it can really help us move forward and clear ourselves so that we are attentive to the intuition. And the trust comes when we follow it and we follow it and we follow it. You can document, you can write down when you experience something. You had an intuition and something comes true, or you had an intuition and what happens when you didn't follow the result. Like a good friend of mine died and she had written me letters for 10 years. And immediately I knew that those letters belonged to her husband. Well, I put it off and I didn't do it. And I realized the other week that he passed a year after she did. So indeed, it is a guide and even you could say guardian.
Yeah.
And so sometimes sometimes, that trauma can be a lookout red flag about a person or a behavior, and it can inform. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and by the way, we are going to, in the last 5 minutes of the show, you're going to hear exactly what we're talking about. And my introduction to, what we call spiritual mind spa treatments, or treatments they're called, but they're for me, I had to put in my own term, most powerful form of prayer. I call it prayer that I've ever experienced. And you're going to hear it today. Why? Because whether it's neuroscience, whether it's me somehow not relating to whether it plays at the beginning or the end, there was something else. There was an energy here I needed to pay attention to in this show. And it's the energy that you're bringing forth to say to people, please don't give your power away on this. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have it.
Yes.
For a minute, I want to talk. You work with people. This is your business. They can go to richerwithin.com. But the bottom line is you're helping people step into the zone of that wow power by understanding the full depth and the breadth of the gift we've been given, right?
Yes. And it's many forms, of which intuition is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talk about, lighten things here to say, I can go into a clothing store, go up to a clothing rack. I can look at a shirt and be, ooh, I'll try that on. And I hear this, no, the neck's not right. Or I look at a pair of pants and no, they're too short. Oh, they're too long. Oh, this outfit's too small. I'll take them into the dressing room. Of course, it can be that simple.
Totally.
Right?
It happened this weekend. Look, everybody has an intuition, but then we have to find the courage. I want to go to this place, that nudge, that poke.
Yes.
Actually, did you actually buy the shirt? No, okay. We'll save that for another show. But the bottom line is we get a nudge and a poke, but we yield. We will not always follow it. I watched Linda do it over the weekend when Linda's getting to be quite the little table tennis player, but she's working with a coach that said made her change her bat and play with this ridiculous, right? She knew in her gut not to, but I want to take this to the next level. It doesn't matter what you do. You can manifest $1 billion or you can manifest 1 billion beliefs. The point is that what you're talking about here is the awareness, the stillness, the meditation. Yes. We have it within us.
Yes. And thank you for saying that, because it's like tuning the radio where the static diminishes so you can actually hear. Mm-hmm. So stillness is incredibly powerful. In stillness, I rise came to me one day in meditation, because that is where we receive and are so receptive and can be really deepened in ways beyond imagination.
You and I can spend an entire hour talking about the life path we've taken, where intuition has gotten us on the path we are now to be in service of so many others. And Kathryn, that's what you are. You see, this show is in service of so many others. I already got a text message on this show already from somebody who's, okay, I'll share it. Wow, Dr. Pat, you still know how to be humble. Good on you for admitting the mistake you made, girl. Thank you for that text. I love it. But wisdom is part of the power. And you're going to lead us today. I've never shared this with you. I question my faith. I question my sobriety. And what saved me was what you are about to do. Being around people that did this for me, that held faith. I remember Reverend Kathy Ann Lewis saying to me one time, it doesn't matter if you don't have faith. Why don't you borrow mine?
Oh, how beautiful.
We're going to borrow yours right now. But before we do, and Nat, we're going to let this play right out to the hour, please. What's your personal message, and how do people find out more about you?
The personal message is to know that you really are richer within yourself, that you have an inner wealth of wisdom that is always there to guide you and to guard you. It is accessible to you anytime, day or night. And if you need a little help, you can find me at richerwithin.com. And I'm on Instagram. And just know you're loved and just know your unique magnificence. And I'm going to affirm that right now. Are you ready?
Is it appropriate for me to say born ready?
Born ready. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And if you are driving a car, I would not recommend closing your eyes, but if you are a space to gently close your eyes for receiving, you do not need to do a thing. You simply let everything go and allow yourself to receive this spiritual mind spa treatment, spa for your soul. And so as we relax and allow everything to go, we remember and we know that we are seated in the lap of a loving and beautiful universe. Universe in that there is only one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence. It is the power that explodes stars. It is the presence, the vitalizing life force that is indestructible and infinite. It simply changes form. It is that infinite wisdom and intelligence, the perfect pattern back of all of life. And it is this one thing that revels in expressing through its beloved creation all that is, seen and unseen, known and unknown. It is all expressions of the one. From the furthest reaches of the furthest galaxies to our very own heartbeat and everything in between, everything is a unique manifestation of this divine presence. I know this means me. I know that I am an individualized representation of that one. And as this is the truth of me, I know with every fiber of my being that it is the truth of everyone, everywhere, that everyone is a magnificent, unique embodiment of that very same power and presence and wisdom, radiant, whole, stars wrapped in skin. This is who we are. And knowing this to be the truth of who we are, I speak my word for and about everyone. And I call forth that joy now, that peace now, that love now, that willingness to be in the now, the awareness of all of the gifts of the now moment, that unconditional now that doesn't wait until when. It is that full acceptance of that now. And I also affirm a deep willingness and trust in everyone's own unique intuition and knowing and hearing how it speaks to them in a language that they understand, and a willingness to follow the intuition to more good than they had even imagined. And the more they follow, the more there is to follow, and the more good and the more joy and the more wow in the now as they follow this path, as they follow their heart, their intuition as their trusted guide. I am so grateful to know the truth of this, the truth of intuition, the truth of the power of living in the now. And in that gratitude, I release this word into the cosmic womb of infinite potential and unconditional love, that love that always says, yes, my beloved, and you are my beloved. It is my joy to give that unto you, which is your heart's desire, for yours and mine are one. So it is with absolute conviction and directed faith that I release this word. I release it, knowing it is already done in the heart mind of the divine. I let it be so. I allow it to be, and we welcome it to be by saying together, and so it is.
Please take this. We'll be pulling this for you to listen to again. And remember, you, me, we all, we have that magic. Thank you, Kathryn. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for investing in yourself by listening to Richer Within with me, Kathryn, and Dr. Pat. Continue this journey with us every third Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Feeling inspired? Visit richerwithin.com to explore one-on-one sessions, speaking engagements, and supportive services with me. Together, let's co-create a world that uplifts everyone through deeper living and conscious presence. Until next time, and always, align with your inner wealth of wisdom. Wow.